You're listening to a Brawl Network production. This is a podcast for the best fans in the NFL.
Are you in the Mafia?
Am I in the what?
It's time for a Bills Brawl podcast.
Second down and 7. Kelly with the time. Touchdown! Bill Brawl.
Allen. Deep shot. Touchdown! On the line to Stephon Diggs.
And Thurman breaking tackles at the 22. Inside the 10. Touchdown Buffalo.
The Bills Brawl is back with you. Thank you for listening, Bills Mafia. Hit me and all of our platforms on Twitter, at Network Brawl, at Bills Brawl, and my personal handle, at Mike L. Sports. I'm going to spend some time on some of the news and notes that have gone on in Bills land here in the offseason. It'll just be me. I want to kind of go around some storylines that have been happening with the team and, the Cole Beasley situation, the Josh Allen comments where he came out and said, that he will restructure the contract to make it, a situation where this team will be in contention and can use that cap money across the board. It's a Tom Brady type move. I'm not surprised. That's Josh Allen. He'll be fine. If he takes $5 million less a year, he'll be fine. 5 to 7 million. There are just a lot of things to kind of run through. Number one, I just wanted to kind of get into, the mini camp that the Bills had and what we were kind of trying to look for. I think the Bills really, I think they knocked it out of the park as far as what they wanted to find out, right? First things first, I think, Greg Russo and Boogie Basham have the potential to be stars here in Buffalo. And I think, the Bills are starting to see some of that electric just skill set from Russo especially. And Brandon Beane picked these guys, and Beane did a hell of a job again in the draft. He didn't have to do anything wildly sexy. He didn't have to do anything, wild and over the top because the roster, the building blocks are pretty much there. It wasn't awful. It wasn't great. It was maybe a little bit somewhere in the middle or better than in the middle. I think I gave him a B+. He filled needs, man, and he grabbed more underbelly. He grabbed more depth. He grabbed, guys who can help more so a year or two down the line, but also have that, NFL immediate impact sort of feel to them. I mean, who's to say that Greg Russo's not going to be a formidable player by week 5 or 6? The thing is, if Mario Addison would save them $6 or $7 million, they would have cut him by now. I think the rough number is right around a couple cool $1 million, where is it really worth, cutting a guy who's been in the system, knows the players, knows the teammates, is growing under Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott's defense? Is it worth cutting him for just $2 million, right? Like, where are you going to put that $2 million? I mean, I guess you could have cut him and tried to sign Andre Roberts back and then found money in another pocket somewhere. I suppose, right? I suppose you could have done that. But it probably isn't worth it. Like Star Lotulelei sat out last year. He's coming back. Cut him. I'm not sure, that money, there's just not money there to save in full, a la John Brown. The way contracts are set up, they're all different for every player. Years, money, bonuses, upfront, back end. It's all different, right? It's all different. Everybody gets paid in the NFL the same exact way that all of us get paid. Different. A lot of you folks out there who are listening to this, you make a lot more than me. Some of you might make what I make. I doubt you make less, but you get my point. We all get paid on kind of different structures and all the rest. I will tell you this. I'm glad the Bills kept Addison. I thought Mario Addison for a little while. I was like, cut him. And then I saw the numbers and I said, well, that kind of makes sense. He's not going to hurt you. he's going to be a guy you can rely on a rotation basis. But that front line right there with Latulele and all these guys and defensive ends and the like, and I mean, you could see a situation where they cut Jerry Hughes down the line because of the money. I just because he's been such a cornerstone Bill that I don't see that happening. But the reality is that it's a spot here where I think, if you keep Addison, you just continue to add to the Buffalo Bills, depth. You keep adding to and growing with that depth. When you look at this roster, it is loaded, front to back, on both sides of the ball, special teams, and all the rest. It is loaded. Mario Addison's a defensive end. A.J. Epinesa, defensive end. Jerry Hughes, defensive end, right? F.A. Obata, defensive end. Greg Russo, defensive end. Vernon Butler, defensive tackle. And he's another guy I think could have a really, really big year, on the 53-man roster. And we'll get into kind of start to blend into that topic as well. Who makes it, who doesn't. But the Bills are counting on, Ed Oliver this year in a big way. They're counting on Star Latulele coming back from the Corona sit-out. They're depending on him in a big way. They're depending on A.J. Epinesa. They're depending on guys to take big steps forward. A.J. Epinesa and Ed Oliver specifically, I think, are very, very important in this mix. Obviously, from a linebacker standpoint, they're depending on, Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano, A.J. Klein. I think Matakevich will make the 53-man roster. But I think maybe you could have an F.A. Obata, or Daryl Johnson, those kind of guys. Brian Cox Jr. kind of on the outside looking in. Cox, of course, health issues anyway. But here's what I'm getting at. If Greg Russo and Boogie Basham can be early impact guys. In other words, hey, we're not going to wait, we don't have to wait till the 9th or 10th or 11th week to figure out what in the world is going on with this guy. Is he going to help us this year? If not, it's fine. Let's just push him off to next year. No problem. I don't think the Bills are looking at that situation. I think they're looking at a situation where Greg Russo and Boogie Basham are going to get some reps maybe as early as week 1. And the depth in the competition, that's something that Brandon Beane has created, and it works. It's great for the locker room. I don't think it's great in certain spots in sports, like in hockey, when you have two goalies and nobody knows what their job is and you're flipping back and forth. I'm not saying that's why, as I record this, the Vegas Golden Knights are down a game with that game happening tonight. That'll be over by the time, the series will be over by the time you hear this on Bills Brawl on a Tuesday, which the date will be July or June. Where are we at here? June 29th already. Wow, July 4th is upcoming, and a happy 4th, by the way, to everybody this weekend. Have a great time. Family, friends, we've got a couple of cookouts and some different things and some great food and people. I cannot wait. My best friend Mark Walczyk turns, he has another birthday on July 3rd, and it's just a great time of year. It's what, summertime in Central New York I'm good with. July and August, basically, some of June, but other than that, get me out of here. So I think, though, that there will be a major play and major competition with Russo and Basham. Getting back to the hockey thing, like Robin Leonard, Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury has one bad gaffe. They lose a game. Leonard goes in, and it's like, oh my gosh, like who's the starter now? And Marc-Andre Fleury is going to waltz into the Hall of Fame. In football, it's a little different. Goalie's a premium position. Goalie is the premium position that you have to have, in order to win a Stanley Cup. You don't have to have an elite defensive tackle to win a Super Bowl. You don't even have to have an elite defensive end to win a Super Bowl. Now, did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a lot of really, really, really good defensive players and a lot of edge rushers in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs? 100%. Absolutely they did. But nobody's going to confuse, right, any of these guys with Reggie White, with Bruce Smith, with Kevin Green, right? I mean, you're not, right? And frankly, you could probably make the argument that, I think a lot of the linebackers in terms of Levante David and Shaquille Barrett, a lot of those youngsters too. I mean, I think those guys helped a lot too because they were able to, blitz and get in there and all that. But, defensive end wise, I don't think anybody last year or this coming year would confuse them with the elite of the elite, right? Same thing with the Bills. Jerry Hughes isn't elite. He's formidable. He's been a very good Bill. I expect a big year from him. I think he'll have maybe, that 8-9 sack range, which the Bills would take. But you're creating competition. Football's a lot different than goaltending, or let's say if you have two aces on a rotation, there's a lot of ego there, like a lot of testosterone, where, guys like, well, I was the ace in the last place. I'm only coming here to be the ace type of thing, as opposed to just going there, sliding into the 2 spot. You're still super formidable, and you can go try to win a championship. The Bills are all in. All the players, all the coaches, they're all in to try and win a championship. The thing is, with the Bills, is that you have a situation where with all of this depth, this defensive competition, the competition across the board on the roster as it is, it's only a good thing, and it's going to enhance people's game and work ethic to try and win a spot, right? Like F.A. Obata picked up, okay, but buddy, look who you got to beat out. F.A. Obata, defensive end, like he's got to beat out a couple of guys. They're counting on A.J. Epinesa on the depth chart higher than F.A. Obata. They're counting on, Mario Addison and Star Lotulelei, on a rotation basis perhaps. Harrison Phillips still there. I'm not sure Justin Zimmer will make the cut on the 53-man. They're counting on all these guys. And if Greg Rousseau and Boogie Basham take a monster leap forward in training camp, and the Bills think that they're pretty much ready to be rotational defensive ends and on occasion go onto the inside because Rousseau can do that. We know he didn't play last year at Miami, but he's done that in his college career. He's a guy who, and Brandon Beane mentioned this many, many times after the pick, this is a guy who can go on the inside and terrorize quarterbacks. And I love the size of both of these guys. We're in that mold of the 6'5", 6'7", type of guy in terms of height. Weight is between 253, 5-ish and like 280 these days, 285, 290 max. For some of these guys, these athletic, long Spider-Man sort of guys, big hands, tremendously gifted footwork, locomotive type of power, etc. I just think that is a major, major, major thing for the Bills. That's a major skill set. It's a huge deal, for the Bills to have these kind of guys and to rotate people in and depth and all the rest. So this is a big thing. It's a big, big thing. I think the Bills are going to really benefit from this. And I'm super happy to see Basham and Rousseau in minicamp. Josh Allen had his struggles, had a few of them, but whatever. It's who cares? It's so early. Tom Pelissero had tweeted out, as I record this from the NFL Network, the terrific reporter, NFL players have until 4 p.m. Eastern this Friday, July 2nd. He said next Friday in the tweet, but as we record this, it's this Friday, July 2nd, to inform their team if they're opting out of the 2021 season per source. High-risk players for COVID, again, are entitled to a $350,000 stipend. Voluntary opt-outs get nothing. Last year, their stipend was $150,000. Obviously, don't expect as many opt-outs because Corona, I think we've turned the corner. I think we should be done with it. I mean, we're fully open in a lot of places. We're fully open to go to stadiums and fully open to go and sit in restaurants, show our little vaccination card. Most people don't even ask. Doesn't matter. So I don't think NFL players will be really, really, really terrified of anything. I don't expect a lot of opt-outs. Now, having said that, we have some major friction going on with Cole Beasley, who has made a lot of noise. He's made a lot of noise with the coronavirus in terms of the vaccination. He tweeted this out back on, let me get the date right, June 18th. He said, look, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to live my one life like I want to regardless. Everyone, hi, I'm Cole Beasley and I'm not vaccinated. I will be outside doing what I do. I'll be out in the public. If you are scared of me, which he spelled "you're" wrong, it should be Y-O-U''RE. If you're, Y-O-U-R, he spelled it. If you're scared of me, then steer clear or get vaccinated. Point blank, period. I may die of COVID, but I'd rather die actually living. I have family members whose days are numbered. If they want to come see me and stay at my house, then they are coming regardless of protocol. I don't play for the money anymore. My family has been taken care of. Find me if you want. My way of living and my values are more important to me than a dollar. I love my teammates and enjoy playing ball because all the outside BS goes out the window in these moments. I just want to win the Super Bowl and enjoy these relationships that will be created along the way. I'm not going to take meds for a leg that isn't broken. I'd rather take my chances with COVID and build up my immunity that way. Eat better, drink water, exercise, and do what I think is necessary to be a healthy individual. That is my choice in all caps, based on my experience and what I think is best. I'll play for free this year to live life how I've lived it from day one. If I'm forced into retirement, so be it. I've enjoyed the times I've had. I'll get to live freely with my wife, kids, and extended family forever. We'd get to enjoy the times that we missed from the sacrifices we've had to make just so I could play this wonderful game. So either way, it's a win-win. He wraps up by saying, that's where I stand. Thank you for everyone who's been supportive throughout this process. A lot of other NFL players hold my position as well, but aren't in the right place in their careers to be so outspoken. I feel for you, and I'm hoping I'm doing my part to represent you guys well. Now look, just a couple things to unpack here. Number one, everybody has an opinion, everybody has a feeling, and that's fine. Of course, everybody has their own deal, no big deal. Like, everybody has their own opinion, everybody has their own thing, I'm all in. No biggie. No biggie. That's the first thing. And somebody tweeted out, just this normal fan tweeted out or tweeted at Cole Beasley, and he was quote tweeting a lot of people's reactions, comments. He said, I didn't say it was pointless. If you want to get it, then do so. I'm not encouraging you to not get it. Just let me live my life regardless of if I get it or not. I don't want to die in a car wreck during the season without getting to actually live my normal life. There's a lot to unpack with Cole Beasley. But I think the most important thing here is, look, everybody has their opinion, everybody has their take, everybody's going to do what they want. He also quote tweeted somebody else and said, everybody is so all in on science now more than I have ever seen. What happened to God's will? After somebody tweeted at him and said, because he can kill people who are actually medically unable to vaccinate or contribute to the spread of variants that could prove resistant, be more dangerous than current strains. Holy shit. How many times does basic information need to be explained? F's sake, from some fan. Oh no, I thought it was a fan. No, it's from somebody who covers the NBA. I've never heard of him. Tyler Conway, Bleacher Report, NBA Insider, NBA News, whatever. So he went at Cole Beasley a little bit in that situation as well. Again, people are gonna have their sayings. They're gonna be mad. That was actually in response to another tweet that I wanted to mention the day before. The Players Association is a joke. Call it something different. It's not for the players. Everyone gives me the 98% of people who are vaccinated don't get COVID again. The odds of me getting in the NFL and playing for 10 years are lower than that, and I'm here. Again, that's fine. Opinionated. This Tyler Conway guy came at him and said, damn, Cole, that's crazy. If only you could simply get vaccinated, then you wouldn't have to cry on Twitter. And then they went back and forth and all this sort of stuff. That's what Twitter does. It's a tough place. It's a, there's arguments. People are super emotional, and people get angry. People get mean. It's why a lot of times I've just stopped tweeting during games. I've stopped tweeting, in so many different areas of Twitter. I've just stopped. I use it mostly as just to promote my stuff and, to tag clients and all that sort of thing. But that's where we're at with Cole Beasley. Again, I'm good with him having a take. I'm good with him having emotion. Feel however he'd like. Here's the problem. Cole Beasley is a part of a team that's trying to win a championship. They are ready-made. They came one game away from the Super Bowl last year. This is a team that needs to win one for the city and all the rest. They've got their franchise quarterback. Expectations are wildly high. I'm not saying that they're going to get back to where they were last year, or that the next logical step is to make the Super Bowl and win what? It's sports. We reset. It's a new year, and let's see what happens. I'm not saying Cole Beasley is at fault for all of his opinions. Everything he said, everything he's tweeted. Where I have a problem with Cole Beasley is this, and both can apply. Both can apply. Somebody can have their opinion. They can shoot it out there. They can go against the grain. They can do fine, no problem. But another thing can apply. I think that even if you're against getting vaccinated, if somebody came up to you and said, hey, every ounce of life is pointing in the right direction to get back to normal. It doesn't matter how you feel about Corona. Doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, if you're Republican, somewhere in the middle. If you feel like we shouldn't have closed down. What states are this? This governor made that decision, this decision, that decision, bad, good, indifferent. Not about that. It is straight up about one thing. If you get vaccinated and it inches everyone closer to 100% complete normalcy in all walks of life, playing in the NFL, going to school, going to games, right? Like everybody being able to work, restaurants being open, right? People being able to make income, getting our capitalism back, getting our economy back, all those things. People not wearing masks while they work. I mean, that has got to be the most annoying thing all day long, right? You walk into a coffee shop, a restaurant, you walk into Walmart, you walk into all these places, people are still having to wear these masks. You and I don't have to wear them because the guideline says that if we're vaccinated, we can walk in anywhere now and we're good to go. Those people still do, based on a lot of it. Like, we've gone into different medical appointments. All those people have to wear masks, right? Like, it's not that easy to say, hey, to hell with it. To hell with it. It's not that easy. What I'm getting at is if Cole Beasley gets vaccinated, it's just, I think, another inch closer to us getting past this 100%. And therefore, I think it's smart for Cole Beasley to get vaccinated. Again, both can apply. He's against it. He's against the NFLPA. The vaccination, look, I get it. Like, we've had flu vaccinations forever, right? I got the flu 2 years ago. I got the vaccination. People can still get corona after getting the vaccination. And then people are saying, well, then, we should be open. Well, we're going to close down forever? We're going to close, we didn't close down from the flu, right? This is where we're at. There's so many arguments. There's so much friction. There's so much tension. I'm just saying that if Cole Beasley gets vaccinated, it's another inch towards us getting past this all the way. People might still get corona. They might this and that and the other. And the vaccination is out there for years, just like the flu. It might be. But it's not where we were. And I didn't think coronavirus was everything. I thought it was something. But this is a very important thing right now. Very important thing. If you look at the situation with Cole Beasley and he gets vaccinated, that helps his team. They're trying to win a championship. He came off a little rude, I thought, and a little, cocky. Well, I don't need the money. My family's taken care of. You don't need to tell us that. We already know that. You guys all make millions of dollars. You live in a different world than we do. You don't need to tell us, well, my family's taken care of. I make tons of money. I don't play for the money anymore. Well, good for you. Good for you that you have everybody taken care of for generations. We already know that. Don't throw the money thing in our face. From a championship goal standpoint, a team standpoint, etc., Cole Beasley getting vaccinated, it helps that. And it can help eliminate any sorts of doubts, anything creeping in as well about, hello, a major factor as well with contact tracing, other people getting it, this and that. And oh, by the way, you could miss some games, which could help, which could hinder your team, right? This is where we're at. And I think he should get vaccinated. I'm not saying I disagree with his opinions, his takes, whatever. I'm not. but I think that he should get vaccinated just based on the fact that if you were to tell me, hey, I mean, did I want to get vaccinated? I mean, whatever. I probably would have chosen, like, if I were, if it were just me, I probably wouldn't have gotten vaccinated. But I have other people who, tell me what to do on a daily basis, right? And so I was told to get it. I got it. Why? For the reasons I just listed. You're telling me that it's going to help us get more and more and more and more in the right direction, just in general, live a normal life. Again, no matter what your political stance is, your corona stance is, we should have closed, we shouldn't have closed, everything in between. Okay, if we can all just get back to how we lived before all this nonsense, then hell, let's all get vaccinated, right? And Cole Beasley, both can apply. Your takes can apply, your opinions can apply, but also the fact that if you get vaccinated, life gets easier for everybody around you and you. It just does. And your team, I know that there's a lot of guys who back up Cole Beasley because it's a really tight locker room. Some guys might disagree with him. Some guys have come out and quote tweeted and said, preach or amen or, you got it, brother, or whatever you think is good for us, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. But I just, I think that it would help everybody across the board. It would help the team if everybody got vaccinated, because you are eliminating a lot of things. You're getting an inch closer towards normalcy, etc. across the board. Getting past this, eliminating the chances for contact tracing, eliminating the chances for people being around it, and then people missing games. Look, we want to have a normal year, man. We want 2021 to be the complete opposite of what it was in 2020 for the majority of the season. Until we got some fans in buildings and all the rest, it was a weird, stupid kind of year. It was hard to get used to certain things. Sure. We watched on TV. We had a good time. Certain stadiums had fans during the year. States were working on a different level, but you get the point. Let's get back to a normal season. So those are some of the little talking points here around Buffalo Bills land. I'm Mike Lindsley. That is another episode of Bills Brawl. Get us on Twitter @Network Brawl, @Bills Brawl, and @Mike L Sports. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.